Wheatgrass and Champagne podcast. I'm your host, Mandi Rose. I'm a holistic health coach with a passion to help others find balance in their life. My belief is that we can indulge in the amazing things life has to offer, like champagne, but still stay healthy using holistic approaches. Tune in each Wednesday to hear interviews with unique holistic entrepreneurs, learn practical tips on finding balance in your life, and get all the behind-the-scenes details of what I do to navigate my own health journey. Nothing is off limits in this series, so grab your shot of wheatgrass or your glass of champagne and prepare to upgrade your life and start healing. Hello, Wheatgrass and Champagne tribe. I've missed you guys so much, and I can't believe it's been a couple weeks since I've released an episode. Life has been totally crazy. Just wanted to start this episode doing a total update on my life, on my health, upcoming podcasts, projects I'm working on, just give you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes of my life, and then we're going to jump into this episode. This is totally a wheatgrass episode, so grab your shot of wheatgrass. We are going to go into something none of us want to believe or think about, and that is parasites. All about parasite cleansing, how to get rid of them, how do you know you have them, how do we get them, and all the other crazy details that people ask me as a health coach when I coach them through a parasite cleanse. The reason I wanted to really do this episode this week is because we are actually doing a group cleanse starting on June 22nd. I have been a health coach now for about 4 years, and the last 3 years, about twice a year, I host a group cleanse. And we focus on different things depending on your health goals. It's through a Facebook group. It's free to join the Facebook group. And a lot of people actually enjoy them because oftentimes when you're going through a health journey, it doesn't necessarily mean that the people around you are also interested in their health. So being able to do a group cleanse online with so many other people going through the exact same process can really, really help you be motivated in your health journey. So this time we're focusing on parasites, and it's good to do a parasite cleanse about twice a year. If you did a parasite cleanse regularly twice a year, it would take you about 3 full years to get rid of all the bugs that we don't want in our body. So I hope you guys are interested in maybe joining our group cleanse. Like I said, I do not charge for my service as a health coach when we do a group cleanse. You just purchase the bundle that you need. It comes with everything. I'm going to talk way more about it in this episode. So that is the reason I am doing this episode today, so that if you are interested, you have time to join us in a group cleanse starting on June 22nd. If you are catching this episode at a later date and didn't get a chance to join this group cleanse, I do them usually 2 to 3 times a year. So connect with me on Instagram or Facebook. I'm always posting when the next one is. Probably going to be in the fall or before the holidays for the next group cleanse. However, you can do one anytime, and I'm always available to guide you through it. So let's get into all the fun updates that I want to share with you guys today. So I immediately on March 13th went into full lockdown because of my health and because I was unsure of the situation with the virus and it was so unknown. So I went into complete stay-at-home mode, didn't go out unless I went to the grocery store, wore my mask in and out, and didn't even order any food, no delivery food, was super cautious about even just walking around my community, and really just stayed in my room with my man for 2 months straight. So I've been still very secluded, very cautious, very careful. Not that I think that that is totally necessary, but with my anxiety history and health issues, I'm just kind of the person that's rather safe than sorry. And now I am back to work and back to doing my podcasts and have some really, really exciting episodes coming up. So let me just share some of those with you. I am featuring one of my holistic doctors, Dr. Nairi. She is the one that got me into manifestation and spiritual healing. She's also the one that does my ozone treatments. She is an amazing shaman. She's an osteopath, so she does conventional and holistic medicine. I love and adore her. So she is going to come on and do an episode with us. I also have a really good friend of mine who is well-versed in breast implant illness. She suffered from it herself. She got her breast breasts done, and 9 months later had become so ill that she had to get them removed, and her health completely rebounded. It took some time. So she's going to come on and share her experience, and we are also going to talk a little bit more about how to become aware if you're having breast implant illness and the safe detoxing you should do prior and post-surgery to remove them. And I'm currently working on recording an episode on astrology and explaining the chaos of 2020 using astrology. Not only do we have all these crazy retrogrades, it's eclipse season right now, the north and the south node of the moon have shifted into new signs, so that is our karma and our destiny, and just explaining what we have to look forward to. Well, maybe not look forward to, maybe what we need to brace for the rest of 2020, and how we can just make sense of all this through the use of astrology. So stay tuned for that episode. And then finally, it's official. I'm going to be releasing the episode of how me and my man met. This is a question we get all the time when people meet him or see us out. How did you guys meet? And it's hard to even explain in 5 minutes. So we made an entire episode about how we met. It's really funny, and the beginning of our relationship and how we went through all this chaos to get to where we are today. So it's a really special episode to me. He is not a public person. He doesn't like to be on video or record very much. So I'm super grateful to him that he sat down with me for an hour and recorded this episode. So stay tuned. And now I'm going to announce something super exciting for all the listeners of the Wheatgrass and Champagne podcast. So first, I want to say thank you so much for being a loyal listener and really being excited about the new episode. So I wanted to do something to give back to all my listeners. So I'm actually going to be giving away a really cute gift bag, and it's going to have a selenite wand in it, a really mini one, which is so cute. If you don't know what selenite is, it's a crystal that is known to help increase our intuition, calm any type of anxiety. It's very healing for the body. I actually sleep with one every single night, and it helps me get really vivid dreams and downloads, opens my intuition, and really calms my body so I can sleep well. So you're going to get a mini selenite wand. There's going to be a packet of greens in there. It's a powder. It's wheatgrass and all sorts of greens that are really good for you. There's also some cute little rosebuds in there that you can either put in your bath water or put in a bowl on your nightstand and get the healing properties of roses, and a few other goodies. So the only thing you have to do to get this gift, I'm going to ship it out to you if you send me your address, is go ahead and follow the Instagram page. So it's Wheatgrass and Champagne Podcast. If you were following our Instagram page before, it has actually been removed, and there is a new one that's been started. So Wheatgrass and, with an A-N-D, Champagne Podcast. Make sure it's podcast at the end. So once you follow the Instagram page, you only have to do 2 things to qualify for this gift from me. One is to screenshot and share in your stories your favorite episode that you've listened to so far. And then number 2, write a review, whether you're listening on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, whatever platform you listen to, write a review and screenshot and send it to me in the DMs. I really just had this huge dream to help so many people and really get information out that isn't mainstream so that everyone knows what exists out there in the world. So if you could really help me spread the message, share the podcast with your friends, share it on Instagram, and if you do those 2 things, I will send you a gift. So I hope to connect with you on the Wheatgrass and Champagne podcast Instagram page. This would mean so much to me. I'm really trying to grow this platform. I feel like there are so many episodes that are coming out or that we've recorded already that people really need to hear about. And my last really exciting announcement, I saved the best for last, is I am almost done with my online course called Beachbody Ready. And this has been a course I've been working on for almost a year. And it is everything that you need to do and to know to get into the best physical shape. And it's not just about the external. I talk a lot about the internal as well, the mental component of getting Beachbody ready. So this online course is going to have workouts, nutrition plans. It talks a lot about posture, different healing modalities, whether it's cupping, things to help reduce cellulite. We talk about bloating. We talk about different diet plans, what you should be following, whether it's keto, intermittent fasting, macros, tracking, intuitive eating. I go into all those topics. We talk about hair, skin, and nails. I mean, to be beach body ready, you want to make sure that your hair is protected, your skin is protected from the sun. I also have different chapters that focus on the mental component, right? Confidence and carrying your body. And it's not just about weight. It's not just about look. It's just about feeling really good in your skin. And so this course has been such a passion project of mine. So I cannot wait for this to be launched. It's going to come up in the next couple weeks. If you follow the Instagram page or follow my own personal page, mandirose.1111, I will be sharing more details, and you can enroll in the course right before I launch it, and it will get all sent to you, and you can self-pace, go through it as you wish. You will have lifetime access to it, so you can always go back and listen to the modules and watch the videos and learn over and over again and have those workout plans for life. So I'm really excited about this project. Cannot wait to release it. All right, now that I'm done with all the updates that I could think of for the moment, I know there were a lot, so thank you for listening to all of them, being excited with me, and connecting with me. So let's dive in, all about parasites. All right, guys, one of my favorite topics. Please don't think I'm crazy for being obsessed with talking about parasite cleansing, but I just think it's so important that every single one of us really understands this concept and makes a conscious effort to clean our bodies out of these pathogenic material that get absorbed into our system from so many sources. And just knowing what's going on in the world today and seeing how much chaos, how much mental health issues are prominent, to see how the world is just vibrating at a very low frequency, it makes me think over and over again, like, what can I do to help? What impact can I make? How can I help people vibrate at a higher frequency, think clearer, be filled with love and light? And the thing I always keep coming back to as a health coach is detoxing and cleansing. And when it comes to parasites and bacteria and viruses, we have to remember that they are pathogenic material. They are opportunistic. They want to take over our bodies. They take over the host, and they have their own consciousness. They have their own agenda. And when they are present in our bodies, they actually take over the consciousness of our bodies. They make us think differently. They make us feel differently. And they don't allow us to be our best self and accomplish the purpose and the mission that we came to this world to do. And so I just think it's so important to talk about this topic. If you've never done a parasite cleanse before, I hope that this episode really opens your mind to how important it is. And if you have done a parasite cleanse before, maybe you'll learn a few things in this episode as to why they're important or different ways that you can cleanse the parasites. I created a list of the most common questions that I get from my clients or from people when I bring up parasite cleansing. So I am going to go through those. For those of you who don't know me, I want to give you just a little bit of a background on who I am. My name is Mandi Rose, and I'm a holistic health and lifestyle coach. And I actually started as a personal trainer, and I realized that 1 hour in the gym was never enough to be able to help reverse someone's health issues. Most often people were referred to me by their doctor, whether they had cardiovascular and heart issues, diabetes, they had to lower their body fat percentage, all autoimmune issues, fibromyalgia, pain, all these things. And working out just wasn't the answer. At least it wasn't the first answer. Because if your body is already sluggish, it's already malnourished, it's already stressed out and cause these health conditions, how can I put your body through a physical workout, which only causes more stress? So I realized, oh my gosh, I need to open up my education and my certification into health coaching. And so I became my own first guinea pig with 2 autoimmune disorders by the age of 25, Hashimoto's and celiac. How the heck did I get these? And I was so young. And I just realized that the root cause for me was poor gut health. I was on birth control for 9 years. Birth control completely ruins your gut health. I was drinking, like most people do in their early 20s, a lot of stress from going to college, being a type A personality, always needing to achieve, working, 2 jobs, and going to college. All those contribute to really bad gut health. And once our gut health is compromised and we don't have those happy, beneficial probiotic bacteria, we allow all these pathogenic bugs to come in and overpopulate and take us over. And parasites are one of them. And they're ones that are actually pretty simple to get rid of as long as we are taking the correct herbs, taking the correct cleanse that is safe for our bodies and gentle enough to not cause any kind of harm. Parasite cleansing is amazing, and it should be done about twice a year, every single year. So let me give you just a little bit of a background on the gut. I always like to start out with a little bit of gut health knowledge because I think so many of us hear the word gut health and it is becoming really popular and mainstream, but most people are really unfamiliar what it means, where is it? Is it our stomach? Is it our intestines? What is it? Where is it, right? So our gut is anywhere from the stomach to the colon. It is where we absorb food. It's where we process any kind of toxins. It's how we detox. It is our immune system, actually. Over 70% of our immune system actually lies in our gut. So it's so important. And Hippocrates, a very famous doctor, said, all disease begins in the gut. Why? Why is this the case, right? So let's look at the gut. And I know it's hard with a podcast. You can't quite see me, but the gut is one cell thick. One cell. That's it. So from the stomach to the colon, our gut lining is one cell thick. And the reason for that is where we absorb our food. So we eat food, it goes into our gut, and then from there it is broken down into the chemical components that we need to actually build our bodies back, right? So it has to get absorbed through this one cell into the bloodstream. And from the bloodstream, it is carried all over our body to every cell, every organ, every system to replenish and repopulate and regrow all of our tissues and cells. So what happens is over time, like I mentioned, stress, antibiotics, alcohol, toxic chemicals in our food, processed food, inflammatory foods, and then, of course, like these other pathogenic materials, all of these create what's called leaky gut. So over time, that one cell wall actually starts to bend and break. And the little tiny microscopic holes where the food was supposed to enter is now bigger and bigger and bigger. So think of like a cheesecloth. If you could take a cheesecloth and stretch it and stretch it and stretch it, eventually those little tiny holes in the cheesecloth would end up being bigger tears. And that is not good for us because the next time we have antibiotics or alcohol or toxic chemicals in our food, they actually pass through now that one cell wall into the bloodstream where it's not supposed to be. And now our blood and our fighter cells go, oh my gosh, there's a foreign invader. This is not supposed to be here. And the soldier cells send out this inflammatory response going, oh my gosh, help, help, help. And it creates a systemic inflammation in our blood all over our bodies. And over time, this leads to autoimmune conditions. It leads to inflammation throughout the entire body. So that is why leaky gut is so harmful to us. But also, when our food gets absorbed and broken down, if it is not properly absorbed into the body, so there's maybe something in the way that prevents absorption, then we become malnourished, right? And this is where parasites come in. They literally create malnourishment in our body because, like I said, they are opportunistic. They want to eat. They want to eat before we eat. And so they hang out in our gut and they hang out in our stomach, and they can actually be present in almost every organ of our body. They can be found in the heart. They can be found in the brain. They can be found in the lungs and the kidneys and the liver. But mostly the intestines is where they start because they know, they are smart. They wait for us to eat, and then they steal our food before it can ever get absorbed into that gut lining, into our bloodstream. So, did you know that our happy brain chemicals and our hormones are actually produced in the gut, not the brain? Our gut is called our second brain. And it is here where all those hormones and neurotransmitters are created. But when parasites are present, they're actually going to eat the food that would create the happy brain chemicals that would create your progesterone, that would create your testosterone, that creates the estrogen. They come right in, smack dab, and steal the nutrients, and you never end up getting to make those happy brain chemicals. So this is what I was saying at the beginning of this whole topic, is that parasites not only have their own consciousness that affects our body and our frequency and our vibration, but they also change the way that we think. Because if we don't have enough serotonin and we don't have enough dopamine, we don't feel happy. We don't feel excited. We don't feel motivated. We need these. If you don't have proper estrogen and progesterone or testosterone, you're going to start feeling hormonal, emotional, right? Everyone knows, like, if you are a pregnant woman, you have emotions that run crazy because you have a hormone imbalance. You have too much estrogen or not enough testosterone. We've heard stories of men that have too much testosterone, can be quick to anger and quick to be very intense. And so when these parasites are robbing us of what we need to think clearly and to feel happy, they really do affect our consciousness. So again, this is why it is so important for us to be parasite cleansing and feeling clean and healthy and happy. So now, a question I get often is, how do parasites even impact all of this, right? How do they get into our body? How do they make like a home inside of us? We are all familiar of how important it is to deworm our cats and our dogs, right? So how often, I think it's a couple times a year, we give our dogs heartworm medicine and our cats, flea medicine. Even farm animals like horses and cows, they regularly get parasite cleanses because they're mammals and they're able to be perfect hosts for these bad guys. And we are mammals too. We are just as capable of our cats and dogs as hosting these bad guys. So we have to realize that it is a real thing. Many, many cultures for years, for decades, for centuries have promoted parasite cleansing. They oftentimes eat the herbs that kill parasites on a regular basis. It's part of their food. It's part of their culture. A lot of African, South American, Central American cultures, even European cultures, they've practiced, parasite cleansing a couple times a year or regularly consuming the herbs. So it just, United States is a little bit behind on this topic, and we have gone so far into conventional medicine in treating the symptoms that we never look at the root cause. And parasites are so often the root cause of everything. It's estimated that over 60 million Americans are affected by parasites, and there's over 3,200 different species of parasites that can affect the human body. So this is crazy, right? So how do we get them? We think we live in this amazing, first world country where we have all the cleanliness and hygiene and Lysol and, fruits and veggies and all these things that are really clean and healthy for us. So how the heck do we even get them, right? Well, first of all, meat is a really big source of parasites. Pork is one of the highest that is affected and riddled by parasites because pigs do not sweat. So anything that they take in, they do not detox out. Fish is also a big source. Salmon, tuna, some of those bigger fishes, they do have active worms. I know for me personally, I've actually cut into salmon and seen a worm. There's videos all over the internet that show, fish riddled with worms. So parasites are very prominent in meats, fruits and veggies as well. A lot of us have heard of the story of the worm in the apple, right? And we often see it in our fruits and veggies. You can see little holes where maybe a worm has buried in or dug in. So even though we might be very cautious in cleaning our fruit and stuff, a lot of them are microscopic and you can't even see them until they get into our bodies, and then they grow and grow and grow. So fruits and veggies. Lakes, this is a big common one. So if you live up north and it's, the summer months and you're going out drinking at the lake or boating or water skiing or kneeboarding, you are consuming, probably not by choice, lake water. It's either getting in your mouth through, swimming, in your nose, in your ears. If you're drinking by the lake, let's say you have a beer can and you splash some water in that beer can and now you're drinking it. So lakes are very prominent. Oceans as well, of course, but lakes and rivers definitely have lots of parasites. And our animals, our pets, I just said we often deworm our cats and dogs, but that doesn't necessarily mean it kills all of them all the time. So if you have a pet that licks you or you it licks your hand and then you touch your face. There you go. And of course, people who have weaker immune systems are more likely to get parasites. Like I said earlier, if your gut health is not on point and you don't have all these healthy, beneficial probiotic bacteria to overcompensate and kill these bad guys when they come in, you are more likely to get parasite overgrowth. So that's how we get them. So symptoms. This one is a topic I could go on and on and on about because there are so many symptoms that can indicate we have parasites. And a lot of them, when I read them off, people go, oh, well, that's related to high blood pressure. This is related to autoimmune condition. This is related to that. But remember, a lot of those health issues and autoimmune conditions come from parasites. Even cancer has been linked as a root cause issue in parasites. So a lot of the symptoms I'm going to explain, yes, can be cross-related to other health conditions. However, always remember that the root cause comes back to gut health and parasite infections. So let me start with a few things. Mood disorder. Number one, mood disorder. I kind of talked about that already and them robbing us of our happy brain chemicals and hormones. Number two, if you have strong cravings for sugary food. The parasites have the mind of their own, right? And so what they want is not necessarily what our body wants. So if you're someone that has really strong sugar cravings, and I don't mean like, oh, it's the end of the day and you want a bar of chocolate or you want a little bit of ice cream. We're all sassy. We all love sugar. It makes us feel good. It makes us happy. I'm not talking about that necessarily. There's a difference between, just enjoying sugar in moderation and then having absolute cravings for sugar. Like you can't stop it. You just want sugar so, so bad. That is the parasites. They are craving the sugar. They are craving the bad food. Your cells don't want it. Trust me. Your body wants greens and veggies and it wants to feel alive and vibrant. Number three, anemia or iron deficiency or really any malabsorption issues. Like I said before, the parasites are robbing us of our nutrients. So over time, we can become depleted of B vitamins and C vitamins. If you are someone who constantly gets your iron tested and it's just not bouncing back, even though you're taking supplements, even though you have meats and different food sources with high iron, if you're not seeing an increase in your vitamin and mineral labs, most likely it's the parasites that are robbing you before you ever get a chance to absorb it. Remember, it's not necessarily what we eat, it's what we absorb. Number four, any type of skin ailments. So eczema, psoriasis, acne, fungal infections like ringworm or athlete's foot, yeast infections, anything that you see on your skin is typically caused by parasites because our gut is expressed in our skin. So remember, any kind of skin issues can usually be relieved by parasite cleansing. Number five, like I just mentioned, any kind of yeast infection, candida, and parasites go very, very hand in hand. They're what we call frenemies. So when one is present, typically the other is present. So if you are someone that constantly gets yeast infections or bacterial vaginosis or any kind of like overgrowth of yeast in the body, look at parasites. Number six, bleeding gums. Anything in the mouth, oral and dental health is extremely related to gut health. They are actually exactly the same. So if you get bleeding gums like gingivitis, you get a lot of bad breath, you get cavities really easily, or someone that's had a lot of root canals and stuff. Parasites can also live in the gum tissue. So looking at that as a root cause. Headaches, like I said before, malabsorption issues, so many other things. Anxiety, this goes back to mood disorder, nervousness, of course, if you're someone that has a lot of anxiety and you just feel like you're not yourself, someone who has really bad anxiety, and I've experienced this. I just didn't feel like myself. I thought differently. I was always worried. I was always scared. I was not able to look at the bright things in life. I wasn't able to be optimistic. That's often parasites. They don't want you to be optimistic or happy. They want to take over. Food allergies or food sensitivities, that comes back to gut health. Sexual dysfunction, if you have low libido or you're just feeling off and sluggish and you're not really turned on, parasites are stealing our hormones. Remember, I said that before. They prevent us from creating our own happy hormones. Chronic fatigue, if you are always tired, always exhausted, that comes back to malabsorption. Digestive problems, this is a big one. If you are someone that has a lot of digestive issues, you eat certain foods and you feel bloated, you feel sick, acid reflux, stomach pains, pains in your colon, not using the bathroom regularly, a lot of those are parasites, right? So if you have parasites, maybe you're constipated a lot because they're impacting your body and they're not allowing this fecal matter to come out, which sounds really scary. Let me see what else. Someone that's hungry all the time, that goes back to malabsorption. If you are not getting the nutrients you need, your body is going to constantly signal hunger. Feed me an apple, feed me a salad, feed me some greens, feed me some protein. And then you eat those things, and then the parasites steal it and you don't absorb it. And then your body's like, oh my gosh, I didn't get the vitamin D I needed. I'm hungry again. So constantly feeling hungry. Sore joints is a big one. There are parasites that can get into the muscle. Parasites can live in our muscles and our tissues and in our joints. So if you're someone that always has shoulder pain or always has knee pain, even though you've done rehab, even though you take anti-inflammatories, even though you do all the things, sometimes parasites are the cause for that pain in that area. Breathing problems, that comes from parasites in the lungs. Itching, that's a skin condition, and memory problems. Those are some of the most prominent ones. There are many, many, many lists that include more, but those are your basic ones. So really, like I said before, pretty much everyone should be parasite cleansing. Most of us have these symptoms. So getting down to the root cause. All right, so let's jump into, once I know I have them, once I can agree that I got them from some source, what do I do about it? This is the thing. I am not here to scare anyone or make you want to live in a bubble. Parasites are just a normal part of planet Earth, and we just accept them and we have to do what we have to do with them. So parasite cleansing is more than just killing the parasites. That is definitely part of it. Part one is killing them, using herbs that they do not like, that cause them to unlatch from the tissue, the organ that they are living in, kill them, and then we have to flush them out. So that is part one. But part two is we need to replenish your body. Like I said, once we get rid of them, they caused us to have vitamin and mineral deficiencies. They caused us to have an imbalanced gut, imbalanced microflora. So we need to replenish and repopulate our gut, get all those happy, good soldiers back in there so the next time the bad guys come around, they get annihilated. And we also need to improve our body's functionality. So increasing our vitamins, increasing our minerals, increasing our absorption. It's a two-part process. So parasite cleansing is really much just about removing the bad stuff, removing the inflammatory foods that are bothering us, taking 10 days to take an herb. I call it a natural antibiotic. So you take 2 in the morning, 2 at night on a 12-hour interval, just like you would take an antibiotic regimen. And it just has herbs. It's got herbs like wormwood, black walnut hull, Seneca leaf, clove, things that are really strong and pungent and that just really shake these guys up and make them hate living in our bodies. It doesn't really affect your daily routine. That is something people ask all the time. Am I going to be able to live my daily life? I travel a lot. I have kids. I have to go to work. Is this going to make me feel absolutely terrible? No. Actually, it's going to make you feel much better once you get rid of the bad and you replenish your goods. So it's a whole program. I've been doing it in my practice for 3 years. I've seen amazing, incredible results. People getting rid of bloating, inflammation, getting their health back on track, reducing the headaches. I've seen people in the 10 days that they do a parasite cleanse go from cystic acne to extremely clear skin in 10 days. It is so insane, and it makes me so happy every single time I can see it happen. So who can't do a parasite cleanse? This is something I definitely want to make sure is very, very clear. There are some people that cannot parasite cleanse, and that is women who are pregnant or breastfeeding, because those herbs can be very potent and they could be passed on to the child, and it's too strong for infants or unborn babies. So even though you can't parasite cleanse, you can still work on reducing your pathogen load. You can work on your gut health. So you can do this cleanse. You just won't take the herbal antibiotics. You would just wait till you're done breastfeeding, and then you can go ahead and do a really good parasite cleanse. If you are a female that is thinking of becoming pregnant, I absolutely have every single one of my female clients that is looking to get pregnant do a parasite cleanse before. That way your body is in the most optimal state and our gut health can be at its highest, best self. Because did you know that when a child is born, that child will have an exact replica of the mother's microbiome, of the mother's gut. So if the gut health of the mother was not that great, that child will never have great gut health. It can only have as good of gut health as the moment it was conceived with the mama. So mamas, future mamas, make sure you parasite cleanse before you try to get pregnant. Another question I get is, am I going to see them? Yes, maybe. It depends, on how bad you have a parasite infection. It also depends on how large they are. And it also depends on how ready your body is to cleanse them. I've done a couple parasite cleanses where I didn't really see anything, but I definitely started to feel better. And then my 4th or 5th parasite cleanse, I saw a lot come out. So maybe they just didn't get shaken up enough the first time, or maybe I got the eggs and the little guys, but not the big ones. So sometimes you will, sometimes you won't, but no matter what, it's better out than in the body, right? Better out of your body than in the body. Am I going to be pooping all day? This is a question I get a lot. No. If you're taking the correct parasite cleanse regimen, and this is why I don't recommend people just to research what herbs are good for killing parasites and then just go buy those herbs, because it really needs to be a full spectrum body approach. You're going to need minerals to help the detox process. You're going to need nutrients to help make sure that your body is feeling better when you get rid of these guys. You're going to need to make sure you're doing some form of gut health to replenish and repopulate the good guys. So with the bundle that I use, it actually has herbs that help you become regular with your bowel movements. So if you are someone who's constipated, this has senna leaf that's going to help pass things through and get things moving and get things out. You are not going to be in the bathroom all day long. This is a very clean process, twice a day, regular bowel movements, which we should be having anyways. So don't worry about that. You can live your normal life. You can still go to work. You can still do all the things that you want to do. You're going to be eating foods. This is not starving. This isn't a juice fast, nothing like that. You're going to eat foods that are really clean and really good for you. So pretty much what it looks like, and people I know always want all the details. So pretty much it's a 10-day process. 10 days, you're going to take the herbal antibiotics, the gut health, the greens, eating clean food, protein, anti-inflammatory tart cherry juice. You take all these things for 10 days. And what that does in those first 10 days is we're going to kill all the active parasites, all the adults, all the ones that are causing hell. And then after those 10 days, we're going to take a 20-day break. So you're still going to work on your health. You're still going to work on the gut health. You're going to still replenish and repopulate your body with good bacteria and minerals and nutrients for 20 days. But we are taking a break from the parasite cleansing. And what that does is all the eggs that the adults have laid are going to hatch. And on the 20th day, we are going to start one more round of the herbal antibiotics. And that is going to kill all the babies before they are old enough to lay their own eggs. So we stop the cycle. So that's pretty much what it looks like. Super simple. It's not crazy or scary. This is why I love doing a group cleanse, because if you've never done one before, you can hop into the group with other people who've never done one. And there are people in the group that have done many. So they're great leaders and explaining, the feeling and what to not be nervous about. People drop in recipe ideas and meal plans and activities. We talk about mental health. We talk about spiritual health. We talk about other topics with health, like autoimmune conditions and hormones and all sorts of really fun things in the group. So it's a great place to be, especially if you don't have people in your social circle, in your everyday life that take their health very seriously. You can get connected to a bunch of people who do, which is really, really amazing. So if you are interested in joining our group cleanse, it's going to start on June 22nd of 2020, right after the summer solstice. The best time to parasite cleanse is going to be around a full moon. So I know it won't quite be a full moon yet, but it's going to be really good to prep our bodies and get ready for it, and through the summer solstice. So it's a really good reset. You'll be done by the 4th of July. It's in a Facebook group, so I will link it below. The only thing that you have to do is go to the link in the show notes, or go ahead and send me a message on Instagram, either on mandirose.1111 or Wheatgrass and Champagne podcast Instagram, and I will send you a link. The other really cool thing is too, we have a discount code for the group. It's 25% off the bundle, which is amazing. And again, like I said at the beginning of this episode, you don't have to pay for any of the coaching in there. It's all group coaching. There's health and fitness coaches, holistic practitioners, all sorts of people in that group that have either used it in their business, have personally tried it, or use it for friends and family. So you're in good hands, I promise. And again, if you're listening to this episode after we've done our group cleanse, don't worry, there will be many more to come, and you can do one at any point in time, and I'm more than happy to send you all the information, and you can join the group whenever. The group is always active, and people are always popping in and starting at different times, so if that timing doesn't work for you, don't worry. It doesn't mean you can't parasite cleanse. And if you have any other questions, feel free to always reach out to me. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, I think it's so important with what's going on in the world today that we really try to figure out on a personal level how we can be our best self. How can we feel the best? How can we vibrate higher? How can we really make an impact on this world? And I just know that my calling is all about helping people detox the bad guys and feel good every single day, because once we feel good, we can do good, and the world needs more of doing good. So I hope this episode was informative, inspiring. I know I chatted a little fast, so hopefully you can go back and listen again. And thank you for tuning in. Don't be freaked out by parasites. It's a-okay. We will get them out. That pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to talk about parasites. I could probably make a 2-hour episode on all the different health conditions and studies and research and so much more information, but I wanted to keep this very simple, informative, and practical. So hopefully it helped you, inspired you, and I hope you cleanse with us soon. So I'm going to end this episode here. I can't wait to chat with you guys next week on a new episode of Wheatgrass and Champagne. Thank you for tuning in. Go ahead and follow the Instagram page again. Qualify for the gift that I'll be sending out, because I have so many that I want to share with everyone. So thank you again for everyone for being a loyal listener, sharing the podcast, helping us spread the message and increase this platform, and for supporting me. So have an amazing week, everyone. And don't forget, whether you're cleansing or celebrating, cheers!